Today we're going to talk about symmetry and geometry. If something has a line of symmetry, you can cut it in half and it's the same on one side as it is on the other. As you can see, I have a half a house here. This is called a Mira. If I put the Mira up, you should be able to see the other half of the house in the Mira. I hope you can see it in the video. Okay, let's try something else. Obviously, that's a butterfly. You can see that it's got a line right down the middle, so let's fold it on that line. Let's set the Mira back up. I hope you can see the other half of the butterfly in the Mira. Pretty cool, huh? Let's try it another way. What if we tried it this way? Oh, wow. No, that doesn't work. I can see the bottom half on top of the antennas. That is definitely not a line of symmetry. All right, let's try something else. I have a pentagon here. I'm going to fold it in half. It's a little hard to see because it's red and so is my Mira. But if you look close, you should be able to see the other part of the pentagon. Okay, so a pentagon also has another line of symmetry if I fold it on the diagonal. But it's going to be hard to see in the Mira because it's red. But it does. It's got one in the middle and then a line here. Okay, so that's symmetry. Let's move on to solid shapes. We're going to start with a sphere. That's a sphere. It rolls. It's like a globe or a ball. It does not have any faces. It does not have any edges. It does not have any vertices. It's got nothing. But if you cut it in half, you can see there's a circle in there. Let me show you. That's half of a sphere. So I told you it could be a globe, it could be a ball. I just happen to have a clown nose on my desk at work. So there's a real life example, a clown nose. The next shape we're going to talk about is a cube. A cube is also a 3D solid shape. It has faces in the shape of a square. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 faces. They're all squares. It also has edges, and it has vertices both on the top and on the bottom. If you were able to fold a cube out, this is called a net, but not the kind you fish with. You would see this. You would see the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 faces that are all squares. You can see I can put it back together. I just have a bigger cube than I had before. In real life, we could talk about that tissue box. It's a cube. Moving on from cube, we're going to talk about rectangular prism. Here is a rectangular prism. And just like a cube, it has 6 faces. 1, 2, 3, 4 that are in the shape of a rectangle. Rectangular prism. This rectangular prism has squares, 1, 2 on the ends. But the funny thing about a rectangular prism is it can have squares on the end or it can have rectangles. It could do both. Here is the net for a rectangular prism. And you can see that it has 1, 2, 3, 4 rectangles and 2 squares. And if I put it back together, I have a rectangular prism. For real life, I brought a box of tissues. There are those edges, those vertices, those faces. Okay, so today, oh, and look, these faces are rectangles. Today, we talked about symmetry, and we talked about solid shapes. The sphere, the cube, and the rectangular prism. I hope this helped.